Hello everyone, Trophy Wine Hunter. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do a unique video about basically wines that I know very little or almost nothing about. And the reason I'm doing this video, I'm going to do it on Swiss wines, is because I am traveling to Switzerland. And it's going to be a really exciting adventure. I hope people are excited for me. And basically, I know very little about Swiss wines, and I'm going to go and try to taste as many wines as I can while I'm in Switzerland. And hopefully, I'll be quite active on my social media, whether it be Instagram or YouTube, and try to provide you kind of with daily reports. It's something I'm going to try and do this time and see how it goes. That's the plan. I don't know if that's really going to happen. Typically, when I go on a trip, I always look at wines, and I'm always interested in the wines of that region. And when I did my research on Swiss wines, this is a unique country in terms of wines. So I didn't know this, but Swiss wines are basically all consumed within the country. So about 98% of the wines produced are actually of Switzerland wines are drank within Switzerland. And the rest, maybe about 2%, mostly exported to Germany. So that's why most people actually never get to see Swiss wines at all. I also didn't know that Switzerland ranks in the top 10 per capita consumption of wine. And about 2/3 of its production is imported into the country. So they drink all their wines, all their own wines, and they, in addition, import a huge amount of wines. In fact, they import more Beaujolais than the United States. So these kind of are facts that I just didn't realize. I didn't realize the Swiss were big wine drinkers. I didn't realize it was a big wine market. And so it's really interesting. It's going to be interesting to go there and try their wines. And this is the pre-video. This is all the research that I've done about Swiss wines, but in fact, I've never drank a Swiss wine, and that I'm gonna try and do some videos about Swiss wines when I'm there, and then do a post video, because I want to kind of show that it's one thing to actually do the research and kind of know the information about wines, but you really have to drink them, and it gives you a totally different perspective once you actually drink the wines. What you learn is kind of the same thing as, watching something on TV and watching safari or elephants or, lions, giraffes on TV. It's a totally different experience than if you're actually on a safari and you've got elephants walking right next to you. You're hunting alongside with lions. It's a totally different experience. Swiss wines are mainly made in the west and the south of Switzerland. And there's 6 wine regions. Geneva, the German-speaking part of Switzerland, the 3 lakes, Ticino, Vaud, and Valais. And so it's about 50-50 in terms of the production of red and white wines, and in terms of the actual vineyard area, it's slightly more for red grape varietals compared to white wine varietals. There is a variety of grapes that are grown in Switzerland. And from the red side, it's mostly Pinot Noir. About a quarter of the production is Pinot Noir. And from the white varietal side is a grape type called Chasselet, which we're not that familiar with here. It is kind of a full, dry, and fruity wine, so I am interested in tasting it. Although, because of kind of modern pressure, they are growing more Sauvignon Blanc on Chardonnay. There are some specific wines that I'm quite interested in trying, which are very unique. Chasselet, of course, is very unique. There is a variety of Chasselet called Fondant, which is grown in the mostly Valais region, where the berries are split when they are pressed between fingers. And but somehow it's kind of unique because they don't burst out with fruit. They just kind of are, I guess, drier berries. So that'll be neat to kind of try in terms of the style. There's a grape type called Human Rouge, which I think is literally extinct other than in, I think, the Valais region in Switzerland. And then there's also a wine called Vin de Glacier, which is a sherry style wine that's produced in a Solera system. And the grape type that's used for this type of wine is called the Rosé grape, and again, mostly coming from the Valais region. So I think two common questions people will have is one, are Swiss wines any good? And I can't tell you that because I haven't had any, but I will be able to tell you after. The other thing is, well, you know, why don't we see them? If they're so good, why don't we see them exported? And, you know, are they expensive? And I think we're going to find that these wines are going to be quite expensive, but hopefully quite unique and quite good. I would think that, and this is just my rationale, that the Swiss people have good taste, and if it was that bad a wine, they'd probably want to export a lot of it. So it's a high-priced wine too. And the reason being is, I guess, first of all, you've got mountainous regions like the Alps in the Switzerland, and so when you're growing and picking grapes in higher altitude regions and mountainous regions is probably fairly expensive. There's not a lot of production. So probably demand outstrips the supply. So it's a fairly small country, and it doesn't produce a huge amount of grapes because they have to import a lot of their wine. And so there's going to be huge demand for these wines, and people like me who are curious wines will also like them. So probably the price is going to be fairly high. That's what I expect. But one of the things is that I think the reason why people don't know much about Swiss wines, a couple of reasons. One is probably they don't export any of it, and you have to go and drink it in either Germany or Switzerland to know it. Two, they have some varietals like Human Rouge and like Chasselet, which are not that popular. So that could be another barrier. Three, it's fairly expensive, probably. I'm guessing that a typical bottle is going to be more expensive than here because it's low production, made in the mountains, and also there's high demand for these. And then four, because Switzerland is unique, it's kind of got Italian, French, and German influences. Many of these grape varietals are called different things. So for instance, Pinot Noir is also called Blauburgunder in the German regions of Switzerland. Chasselet, of course, is called Fondant in the Valais region, and it's probably made a little bit differently. Also in Valais, there's a grape type called Johannisberg, which is actually Sylvaner. So this adds to the confusion. Whenever there's confusion, it's really hard for people to buy wines. The other thing is that they don't really have a set AOC system like everywhere else in the world. So it's not that systematic, I think, so it's going to be confusing. And that'll be really interesting for me to actually look at the bottles and kind of see what I can kind of distinguish from the actual label. And hopefully by the time I'm finished my trip, I'll be better at reading these Swiss labels. But I'm really quite excited about trying these wines and I'm going to go in there with very little knowledge. I know what Pinot Noir tastes like. I have a feeling German, French, and Italian influences that it probably be a little bit like Italian Pinots or Alsace Pinots, but that could be wrong. Don't have a lot of experience with Chasselet. Chasselet actually was grown in BC, so that'll be interesting too. It's supposed to be a pretty heavy wine. I don't think it's that flavorful because my thinking is that if it was that flavorful, it'd be a much more popular grape varietal. But again, it's really going to be interesting to try these wines and hopefully viewers and subscribers will enjoy the journey with me where I discover it, and then coming back, I will do a video and kind of summarize my views of these wines, because I'm probably not going to have much opportunity to drink them again. For those viewers and subscribers who are in Switzerland, if you want to reach out to me, give me some suggestions of where to go, what type of wines to buy, that'd be great. And if perchance we have the ability to meet in Switzerland, let's see if we can arrange time to meet so we can share a glass of Swiss wine. That would be pretty neat. I really enjoy doing that whenever I travel around the world and meeting some of my viewers and subscribers. So again, this is good. This is just an introductory video, but it's going to be an exciting journey, and I hope that you will enjoy the videos that I produce, both shorts and my summary video at the end of my trip. Until next time, happy drinking.